After years of making videos about how the Persona series is gonna go multiplat and come to the Nintendo Switch, I swore to myself that I was done with the topic after my most recent video with all the updates regarding the situation. And with Persona 4 Golden now available on the PC, I thought that my point was finally proven once and for all, and that I could finally rub it in the faces of all the Sony stans who mocked me for promoting the idea that Persona games would eventually appear on non-PlayStation platforms. In fact, I actually took a camera crew with me to do just that over the weekend.
Shame on you.
You look like a clown to me, fool.
Don't you start
you ain't
yapping your yap at me. I can come in there and step to you.
Come inside then. You step one foot in here, I'll stab the
However, even though I thought Persona 4 Golden on the PC was enough for me to put this topic to bed, there's not only plenty of Sony stans who still think that mainline Persona games won't come to Nintendo platforms, but there's even Switch owners who think so as well, and they're even mad at Atlus for allegedly snubbing them by putting the game on PCs first. But if you ask me, I think that just because Persona 4 is only on the PC right now doesn't mean that it's not coming to the Nintendo Switch down the line. In fact, I think that's actually all the more reason why it's gonna happen. Why is that, you ask? Well, sit back in your sauciest chair, press the subscribe button if you haven't already, and allow me, the world's largest love machine, Cameron all one word, to tell you why the Persona series is coming to Nintendo consoles, hopefully for the last time ever. Okay, so a lot of Switch owners are pretty much convinced that Atlus is toying with our emotions at this point, which I totally understand, because ever since Joker was revealed in Smash Boys, or whatever that game's called, they've basically been trying to make Switch owners beg for mainline Persona games by giving us multiple surveys that confirmed that it was absolutely possible since they were at least thinking about it. I mean, the first 4 Persona games made sense to have as Sony exclusives since the PS1 and 2 were pretty much RPG sanctuaries, especially compared to the 64, GameCube, and Wii. However, in the modern day, there's way too much money to be made for Atlus by breaking Persona free from Sony exclusivity. I mean, I honestly can't think of any notable third-party franchises that ever remained exclusive to one line of consoles, and if Nintendo's already getting sequels and exclusive spin-offs, then why on earth would it be a stretch to just put the mainline games on the Switch too? Well, despite the fact that some people think Atlus porting Persona 4 to the PC is a gut punch to Nintendo fans, I think that it's pretty much confirmation, especially when you consider the fact that the Switch Pro Controller's layout's in the game's code. Granted, it could just be there because Steam sports the Pro Controller, but come on. And if you're wondering why Atlus would consciously choose to keep Persona 4 from the Switch right now instead of just releasing it at the same time as the PC, then just keep in mind that Catherine Full Body's release date on the Switch is July 7th, and I actually think it's a smart idea for Atlus to let that game have the spotlight for a little while rather than distracting everyone with a Persona 4 announcement. And even though that doesn't necessarily confirm that Atlus is going to give the people what they want, the fact that Persona 4 Golden didn't come to the PS4 at the same time as the PC is a pretty good indicator that it's coming to the Switch alongside all the other obvious reasons I've been talking about for years now. I mean, even though I've been saying that Atlus is going to break Persona free from Sony, I never said or even thought for a second that the series was ever going to leave Sony altogether, and we all know that there's no way in hell that Persona remasters aren't coming to Steam without coming to the PlayStation as well, and I suppose that Atlus could be waiting for the PS5 to come out, but not one person in the entire universe is buying a PS5 to play a PS2 game that was updated on the Vita. People who play games on PC are mostly different from those who play on consoles, so I'm pretty sure that Persona 4 coming to Steam first probably won't hurt the console sales later on, but if the game were to come out on any home console first, then it'd significantly hurt the sales on all the other console versions that came out later on, especially if it came out before any of the other versions were even announced. And I'd imagine that neither Sony or Nintendo would be very happy with getting the scraps, and yeah, I'm sure that a Switch version later on would still sell decently based on the portability alone, but I'm sure a lot of people would prefer the Switch version and be pretty pissed off at buying the PS4 version without knowing that the game that they wanted was in the pipeline. And even though I really don't think it hurt the Steam sales too bad, it's not like announcing the console versions now would do them any favors either. So basically, I honestly don't think that Atlus is stupid or toying with us, I just think they've got a lot of masters to serve right now is all. But speaking of portability though, that's something that the Persona series has been rather fond of over the years, and since the Switch is the last portable standing outside of dingus mobile devices, I'd say that it's pretty obvious that Atlus is going to bring the series over to Nintendo's little hybrid that could when the time is right. And as far as the rest of the Persona series is concerned though, I'm pretty sure that 1 and 2 are probably going to keep being ignored for a little while longer because they're completely different kinds of games than 3, 4, and most importantly the game that everyone's fiending over 5. And if Atlus is trying to capitalize on the popularity of the 5th game, then it kind of makes sense to hold off on making the PS1 titles go multiplat for a little while longer, but watch me say that now and then find out that those are the only games that ended up coming to the Switch after all. I already made a video specifically talking about why I think Persona 3 is still getting a remaster, and why it's not coming out alongside Persona 4, so if you want to know more about that, then I'll pin a link to it in the comments. And as for the original game that everyone wanted to see come to the Switch, Persona 5, I do still believe that it's coming to Nintendo platforms, but like I said before, I'm sure that Atlus had already committed Royal to Sony as an exclusive for the immediate future before Joker was ever even planned for Smash, and probably even before the Switch became another viable platform for the series to thrive on, so I think that Persona 5 might not come to Nintendo consoles until whatever the Switch's successor ends up being, but with the game just getting an update that rendered the original obsolete, I kinda think that Persona 5 needs to take a little bit of a rest for a while, cause honestly, even I wouldn't be that thrilled about buying the game for a third time and pouring another 100 hours of my life into it anytime soon. So like I've said in yet another video that I've already made regarding the Persona series breaking free, I think 3 and 4 make way more sense to do before 5, and now that Persona 4 Golden's on the PC, I think it's all downhill from here, and that we should all stop worrying until Atlus gives us a reason to. And if they do make us worry, then I'll be the first to lead the charge of their headquarters in Hong Kong, Connecticut, for having the audacity to tease something and not deliver it out of some weird loyalty to Sony that involves exclusive spin-offs and sequels and rival consoles. But anyway, what do you think? Does Persona 4 Golden coming to the PC confirm that the game's not coming to the Switch? Do you think that the PC version coming first makes sense? Or do you think that they're gonna recall it and wipe all the hard drives of everyone who downloaded it so that Sony and Nintendo could get the first true crack at it? Either way, let me know what you think in the comments down below, and as always, I'll try my goddamnedest to respond to everybody at some point. But let me tell you, if there's 2 PS2 games that were ported to the Vita and given HD remasters on the PC that deserve Nintendo Switch ports, then it would definitely be today's patrons of the day, Timothy Dyer and Melanie G. If you want to be badasses like these two, then consider supporting FU Game Crew on Patreon for loot boxes and silly rewards in the mail. Send pictures or videos of you rocking merch if you want to make cameos in my videos, and follow me on Twitch if you ever want to hang out whenever I play video games sometimes. My name's Cameron, all one word, and I'll see you next time.
So I want to say thank you to your loyalty, thank you for your support.